Hey, guess what? There's actually a 50-minute long version of this reaction video that I wasn't able to upload to YouTube because, my god, were the copyright police on my ass with this one. I made sure to tell my editor not to cut out the best jokes from this YouTube version of the video, so don't worry, hopefully nobody's feeling ripped off by that. I just really had to, chop this one down in order to get it onto YouTube. But if you want to see the 50-minute long extended edition of this video, make sure you consider subscribing to my Patreon. The full-length 50-minute reaction video will be up there on Patreon, along with my Sky High reaction, Blue Lock, Hell's Paradise, Food Wars, and Ghost Story Dubs reaction, and all of the live streams I've recorded in the past and will record in the future, including my Epic the Musical live streams, my Undertale live streams, and more. Anyway, and now, continue enjoying the video. How's it going, boys, girls, and squirrels, and welcome to a video I'm kinda nervous to make. People love the How to Train Your Dragon series. This is some people's favorite series in the history of fiction. A lot of people say the How to Train Your Dragon movie trilogy is the greatest trilogy of all time. And I'm not sure that I entirely get it. Now, before you get angry, keep in mind two things. One, this video's probably going to be titled, I was wrong about How to Train Your Dragon, or I was right about How to Train Your Dragon. So if you're nervous about how I'm gonna end up, by the end of the movie, you can probably guess my endgame opinions by the title. Number two, I've only seen this movie one time in my life, and it was in theaters in 1983. Or some fucking year, I don't know. I'm so brain rotted at this point that any movie that came out before 2010 might as well be in black and white. Oh, let's go! This one's brand spanking new, baby! Well, at least it's got that going for it. Movies didn't start getting good until we started throwing double digits at the end of 2000. And third thing you gotta keep in mind, I genuinely think the reason I didn't love this movie as a kid is purely out of spite. I was 11 years old in 2010. Arguably my most spiteful age. Let me explain something to you guys. Everything I do in life, I do for sex or revenge. This YouTube channel, revenge. Nothing is more spiteful than being more successful than the people you went to high school with. These gizmo bots, obviously sex. Nothing sexier than a little robot guy on a chain. Danny, what about the time you ate dog food on camera and then uploaded it to YouTube? Obviously, that was another sex-driven decision. I need people to know the kind of freaky shit I'm willing to do. But this movie came out in 2010. I was 11 years old and understandably not getting that much sex. So these were arguably my most spiteful years. And when I was 11, I had a friend who made dragons his entire personality. And he was always like, dude, dragons are the best animal. New Pokemon game comes out, I'm maining all the dragons. New dragon movie comes out, I'm there day one. And so out of spite, genuinely, just to be different, I made robots my whole personality. And guess what? I'm still hating to this very day. He loved Toothless, he had all the How to Train Your Dragon merch, and I genuinely, honestly believe my negative opinions towards this movie were founded in me wanting to be different from my best friend. I know it doesn't really sound like we were friends, but I promise we were cool. And to clarify, I've never hated this movie, I've never even disliked it. I just remember seeing it as a kid and being like, that was pretty fun. That was fine. And then as I grew up and it blew up and everyone was like, this is the best cinematic trilogy to ever be made, then I started kind of questioning it and being like, is it better than I thought? Or is everybody just going insane? We're gonna find out today. I always go into stuff with an open mind. I never want to watch something I dislike. My time's too valuable for that. I plan on dying around age 30, 32. I can't be wasting my time watching movies I don't enjoy. So we're going into this with an open mind and an open heart. I'm also doing this in preparation for the live action movie to come out. Can't believe it took me that long to mention the live action. Let's check out the original How to Train Your Dragon.
This is Burke. It's 12 days north of Hopeless and a few degrees south of freezing to death.
Oh, hiccup. First of all, that's kind of a sick line, actually. That's kind of a hard opening line. That's really good writing. It's 12 days north of hopeless sounds like something you'd read in a John Steinbeck novel. Hiccup's voice was such a major hurdle for me growing up. It was such a major contributing factor to me not enjoying this movie. Jay Baruchel has the voice of somebody who transcends age. Does that sound like a child to you? No. But the issue is it also doesn't sound like an adult. Jay Baruchel's voice sounds so goddamn weird coming out of any face or age that isn't his current face and age. That being said, even though as a kid I really didn't like Hiccup's voice actor, at this point, Jay's voice is kind of inseparable from Hiccup to me. Like, this is just what Hiccup should sound like to me now. You know, like, I wouldn't want them to recast this ever. That's what Hiccup's voice is. If I saw Hiccup animated with a different voice coming out now, I might actually be genuinely angry about it. Despite child me wanting them to change his voice with every fiber in his little body, adult me might actually cause a problem about it if they did it today.
You see, most places have mice or mosquitoes. We have dragons.
Leave this village.
Most people would leave.
Most people would be correct. You don't belong here. This is an off-limits part of the world. Man wasn't meant to live on this island. This would be like if all of the rats in New York City were replaced with Bengal tigers and people were still like, yeah, it's a little rough, but where else am I gonna get an ice-cold cannoli?
Oh, nice of you to join the party. I thought you'd been carried off.
This is the meanest thing I've ever said about somebody who doesn't know I exist. But doesn't this guy look identical to Woody Harrelson?
And Astrid.
And Astrid looks like Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle with bangs.
If you ever want to get out there to fight dragons, you need to stop all this.
But you just pointed to all of me.
Just the parts he doesn't like.
They have this nasty habit of setting themselves on fire.
Reload! I'll take care of this.
Do you hear this fucking music? This score is insane. This is a crazy track. There's like hammers and anvils and like chains rattling in it. Is this movie known for its soundtrack? And I'm so like not a soundtrack kind of person. Like unless a soundtrack is explicitly incredible or explicitly terrible, I often won't notice it at all. This is like an outrageous banger. This opening, as a whole, is also just way more hype than I remember it being. This fucking dragon just lit itself on fire. No shot, he just hit a black dragon from a mile away with a catapult at night. Do you know how insane of a shot that is? I'd have trouble hitting a stationary target during the day 10 feet away from me with a catapult. Fucking Toothless was trying to get hit.
You're all act.
Oh, and then it's hands! Dude just took this dragon to Slam Central Station. This guy isn't a Viking, he's a fight king.
And I have an entire village to feed.
Yeah, between you and me, the village could do with a little less feeding, don't you think?
Oh no, he's doing crowd work. Read the room, Hiccup. Why would a fat joke get you out of this situation? If you weren't the chief's son, it probably would have gotten you executed.
My father told me to bang my head against a rock, and I did it. I thought it was crazy, but I didn't question him. And you know what happened?
You got a headache.
That rock split in two.
I feel like we're about to take away the wrong message from this obvious abuse story he's about to tell. Also, speaking of things being way better than I remember them being as a kid, the acting and dialogue are stellar in this movie. Maybe I was too young to properly appreciate this children's movie, because this is like way higher quality than I remember it being. I'm like 11 minutes in, and already I've been kind of blown away by the dialogue a few times. Not like in a way that I'm gonna like write down these lines and remember them forever, but it's just good, well-written dialogue. You know, not just like for a kids movie. That's a good fucking look. That is a tense pupil. Toothless looks fucking unhinged, doesn't he? He's like, make a move, bitch. You got one shot. I'm not even gonna remember what you fucking taste like. God, find me someone with more pretty privilege than Toothless. You think if Toothless caught a fucking Grunkle Stan instead of a Night Fury, he'd have any remorse about shoving a knife through its eye? You think he'd show any mercy to a whispering death? By the way, can we talk about this fucking thing? I was looking up dragons to see what the Grunkle is called, and then I caught a glimpse of this absolute tooth factory. I don't know if these things are from this movie or like a different island that's explored in the show or something. But if they're from Burke, the suicide rate on this island must be off the fucking charts. If that was the dragon Hiccup caught instead of Toothless, he would have invited his whole village down here, and they would have turned beating this thing within an inch of its life into a new national holiday. Toothless, more like ruthless. I love how kind of scary he is. Look at him, he's just like, no way, he's cutting me free? He's cutting me free? Oh my god, what a bitch! What a dumb bitch!
Which means you walk like us, you talk like us, you think like us. No more of this.
You just gestured to all of me.
Just the parts he doesn't like.
Shield, go! Your most important piece of equipment is your shield. If you must make a choice between a sword or a shield, take the shield.
I like this actually kinda good Viking advice. I don't know when I'd ever apply this knowledge, but it feels like I'm learning some useful stuff here. Like, I don't know, I guess I've learned that the best offense is a good defense. That's basically what he's saying. And that's not a bad lesson to teach kids. You never want to teach a kid to fight, but inevitably a kid's gonna end up in a fight. And it's not a bad idea to teach them, like, good ways to survive it.
Knives! Make lots of it and throw off a dragon's aim. All dragons have a limited number of shots. How many does a Grunkle have?
I like the dragons having this strict rule system too. That's also really cool. Anytime you add rules to monsters, it immediately makes them more interesting. Like, genuinely, just look at Sinners, for an example. All of the tension in Ryan Coogler's Sinners comes from the fact that vampires have this really specific rule where they need to be invited into a building in order to enter it. And that's so fun. Adding rules to monsters makes them more interesting, not just because you want to see the ways that the heroes, like, exploit those rules in order to get the upper hand, but a good monster will know its own rules and come up with clever ways to circumvent them. Vampires know they have to be invited inside, so they make the idea of coming outside really alluring, or they try to seem very charming and charismatic to be invited in. Dragons having a limited number of shots and this sound weakness makes the idea that dragons haven't made humans extinct way more believable, and makes fights between humans and dragons a lot more even-sided and tense.
Scaldron. Sprays scalding water at its victim. Extremely dangerous.
Dude, the tone of this movie is so good. This movie's way more serious than I remember it being. I don't love the teenager characters. That's what I remember most from this movie, is like the little Jack Black character and the TJ Miller character. I know Jack Black doesn't play him, but he looks like Jack Black to me. Their comedy never really hits for me. They're all just kind of too silly and childish, and I kind of feel that even more. They're childish in a way that's like not fun. I mean, they're obviously children, so they should be childish, but like, just feels like kind of bad, lazy humor to me personally. And as an adult, it's almost worse, because now I'm really appreciating how well written all of the adult dialogue and humor is. And so it contrasts really hard with all of the teenage characters. But I love how serious and grounded the rest of the movie is. The tone is so good at establishing and maintaining the danger of this world. I really thought this was like a Marvel quips kind of movie. It super isn't. Also, I just realized Astrid's wearing a top from Forever 21's summer blowout sale, and then like Warhammer pauldrons on her shoulders. What the fuck is this outfit? What do these pauldrons clip into? Are they just drilled directly into her shoulder bones? She's also she's fucking covered in baby bird skulls. What did she massacre a family of blue jays?
Toothless. I could have sworn you had...
Yeah, hey, why can he do that? Like, what natural advantage does having retractable teeth give a creature? The Gronkle, the Iron Defense Dragon, the Monstrous Nightmare, the Flaming Skin Dragon, the Night Fury, the What That Mouth Do Dragon. Why did he run away like that? That was so fucking weird. Was that him mimicking human running? That was such good boy energy. He was just like, I will be back. I love him wanting to protect his artwork. What an amazing boy. Dude, and the music... Holy shit, this might actually live up to the hype. Toothless drawing is so genius, and the drawing not being anything, I can't even put into words how much I love this bit. This is such a smart scene. This is such a smart, beautiful scene. I can't believe I don't remember this. Toothless has such a perfect amount of intelligence. I love him immediately understanding what Hiccup's doing, but he isn't immediately into it. He's just immediately interested. Like, I like him being like, all right, hold on, let's see where this goes. Also, this shot of the wings behind Hiccup as he augments his tail is a genius shot that I also, never see anyone talk about. What a genius piece of symbolism to have Hiccup attach this tailpiece and to visually show that this is the beginning of Hiccup learning to fly, not just Toothless regaining his own flight. It's a great way to show synchronization between the characters. This is as big of a moment for Hiccup as it is for Toothless. This is Hiccup augmenting his own life. Also, is that Toothless trying to ditch Hiccup just then? If the tail flap stayed extended, would Toothless have just flown away forever? Because I kind of like that in premise. Obviously they've bonded with each other, but I do like the idea that Toothless kind of still feels like a prisoner. I wouldn't mind Toothless having a bit of meanness in him, at least at this stage in their friendship. Right now, he tolerates Hiccup because he finds him weird and silly, but his main priority is escape. I don't think that's the case, but I like that in theory. I get that vibe because in that moment when he throws Hiccup, his eyes are still really narrow. When Toothless is, really serious and kind of intense, his eyes are more narrow. And then when he's being cute and more open and welcoming, his eyes are more round. It's insane that this doesn't go straight to Hiccup's head in the absolute most fascist way possible. It's insane that this movie ends with Hiccup teaching all of his friends his dragon taming techniques and everyone living in harmony with the dragons. 'Cause if it were me, I'm a master of dragons. I was born with this gift. There is no secret technique. I and I alone speak with the dragons. And you know what? They don't really like how everybody in Burke's been treating me lately. Yeah, they think maybe it's time people start paying a hiccup tax just for being allowed to live on my island. Man, you really feel the speed. The way Toothless's scales and muscles and wings, like, ripple against the wind, you really get a good sense of velocity here.
Ichi, stop!
Yeah, I was gonna mention this earlier. A pretty whack of Hiccup to make Toothless a prosthetic that Hiccup has to control in order for it to work. Just fix Toothless's tail, right? Like, just give him a prosthetic that's always extended. Don't turn him into your own personal motorcycle. I do really like the look on Toothless's face here, though, when Hiccup becomes detached. There's a great sense of panic here. It's just really strange that Hiccup's like, yeah, I'm gonna turn this guy into a vehicle. God, that's really good. That was such an awesome shot. Him just fully Batman gliding against the slope of that mountain. You just, I don't know, you really feel him fighting against the wind there. I like how this movie implies that all wild animals are just waiting to be dogs. Don't do this with wild animals. Bears aren't just dogs waiting for head scratches. Like, don't go out and use this logic on a mountain lion. In today's news, a local man was mauled to death by a grizzly bear because he idiotically decided to make himself look big rather than giving the bear tummy scratches and a kiss on the nose. This man will not be missed nor mourned.
You really had me going there, son. All those years of the worst Viking Burke has ever seen.
All those years of hating you as a son. All those years of the whole village hating you for being my son. You know, we throw a parade for it.
With you doing so well in the ring, we finally have something to talk about.
Oof. Oh, man. Oh, what a sad relationship. I'm so not excited for him to see how Hiccup's been actually conducting himself in the arena. So not excited for him to see Hiccup dishing out tummy rubs left and right like he's the goddamn chief of the cuddle police.
So, you got me. It's time everyone knew. Drag me back, go ahead. Here we go. Ow! Why would you do that?
That's for the lies.
Of Hiccup being actually pissed about that. Can't wait for the end of this movie when she's like, you know, you're not such a bad Viking after all. Maybe you're even worthy of dating me. Dating you? You broke my finger. I've never been less attracted to somebody in my life. I think I hate you.
Toothless? Astrid. Da-da-da, we're dead.
Love Toothless being like, yeah, that's right, prance off, you little rat, you ain't shit. Da 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 do 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 da 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 da. Are you having fun, Astrid? Hiccup, this is why we kill these things.
It's amazing. He's amazing. So what now?
Oh, now we kill you. You've seen my face. You saw me ride a dragon. You didn't think I'd just let you walk away. Come on. Hey, Toothless, I cut her seatbelt. Let's see another flip, buddy.
What?
Sorry, bud, that's how shit works around here. You gotta pay the tax. This is exactly how I'd be treating the Vikings if I were Hiccup.
That's for kidnapping me.
I don't fucking know. I wanted to eat her.
That's for everything else.
Crazy move after literally one day of hanging out with him. Crazy move after one day of not hating him.
I'm not one of them.
This is so hard. Hiccup's about to learn these fools. That was also exceptionally hard. Toothless diving through the crowd was so sick. Him burning the little, like, railing and diving through it was awesome.
I should have told you before now. You take this out on me. Be mad at me, but please, just don't hurt Toothless.
The dragon? That's what you're worried about?
I get why his father is mad right now, but there are some definite silver linings here. First, Hiccup completed Burke's Pokédex. That's pretty exciting. He found the dragon nobody else could find. That's gotta count for something. Second, with just a few minor tweaks, this whole fiasco could become such a lucrative circus. People would pay so much money to see Hiccup do silly little tricks with dragons. There's some definite positives about what's going on right now.
They defend themselves, that's all. They raid us because they have to. If they don't bring enough food back, they'll be eaten themselves.
It's weird that dragons in this universe are just golden retrievers that got mixed up with the Yakuza. Like, at its core, this is a mafia movie, right?
So you've been to the nest.
Did I say nest?
How did you find it?
But no, I didn't. Toothless did. Only a dragon can find the island.
Hey, buddy. Just stop talking. Just, you're done. Cease the production of words.
Lead us home, devil.
I love Hiccup's Viking-ass father. I like how kind of cruel he is. Incredible shot. What an actual fucking nightmare.
Fish legs, break it down.
Okay, heavily armored skull and tail made for bashing and crushing. Steer clear of both. Small eyes, large nostrils, relies on hearing and smell.
I love how Fish Legs is just like an actual zoologist. Like, what an incredible breakdown of this thing's anatomy. I like how he used factual animal knowledge to give a thorough analysis of this thing's strengths and weaknesses. Like, that was really good.
Okay, left, legs, hang in his blind spot. Make some noise, keep it confused. Rough, tough, find out if it has a shot limit. Make it mad.
You know what? I take it back. Hiccup might be the one out of everybody else's league. That was tough as hell. I can't believe this movie actually managed to make Hiccup seem badass.
That thing has wings. Okay, let's see if it can use them.
I don't know if you want to do that. That seems like a horrible idea.
Hold, Toothless. Now!
Toothless, you kinky son of a bitch, you've done it again! I love anytime Toothless spits in another dragon's mouth. It just always hits. Jesus Christ, what a graphic way to kill this thing. I saw its fucking neck break before it exploded.
Thank you for saving my son.
Well, you know, most of them.
Oh my god, does Hiccup become an amputee? That'd be so good. Does he become an amputee like Hiccup? Or fucking like Toothless?
You're in my house. My dad know you're here? What? Oh, okay.
Oh, he's got the zoomies. He's so happy to see Hiccup alive. Damn, that went really hard. That was so well done. That was really good. I really like the tone, the dour tone. I like the pacing of it.
Okay. Thanks, bud.
Oh, and then the shot of Toothless's severed tail, like, swishing in front of it. Dude, there are so many shots in this movie I can't believe nobody talks about. That shot's incredible. The shot of Toothless's wings opening up behind Hiccup. Everyone's always just talking about that first flight scene. Like, these are awesome shots I never see in people's fucking YouTube analyses of this movie. That was so good. That was awesome. What great imagery.
Turns out all we needed was a little more of this.
You just gestured all of me.
Oh, just the parts he loves! And that was How to Train Your Dragon. Yeah, you could probably tell from this video's title. Wow! Wow, do I get it. I'm sure anytime I like a thing, truly, regardless of what it is, regardless of its quality, I always get accused of just saying I like it for the video. That is so not the case here. I'm so excited to watch 2 and 3. I totally understand the hype, though ironically, I think I was too young to appreciate this kid's movie. In terms of, like, all the stuff I'm into now, I get why people call this, like, one of the best animated films of all time. Because, yeah, I was, like, pretty hyped. I was pretty stoked about it the whole time. I'm really interested to see 2 and 3, because people say those are pretty good, too. I don't hear people talk about them as much as this one, but yeah, this was pretty good. Toothless is awesome, dude. I didn't realize how fucking good Toothless is, just in terms of good boyness. He's really funny. I like when he's serious, too. Like, I love a cute but competent sidekick. That's why I like Stitch, too. I like when Stitch really leans into, like, the fact that he is a genocide weapon. But anyway, as always, let me know in the comments what you thought of this video. Do you want to see me react to the other How to Train Your Dragon movies? And I will see you guys next time.
Is it obvious the way I search the